This video I want to go over how to bench press a lot of weight. This is my feedback and based on my experiences, my tips. First, you have to train from an early age. It helps. So I've been working out very consistently since a young age. Started at age 9 working out, playing basketball and things like that. I started to get into calisthenics a lot when I was in like junior high. So calisthenics are like doing a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, squats, jumps, dips, pull-ups, things like that. So when you start early doing calisthenics, that's very helpful. You're training it into your muscle memory. So, and specifically for the bench, you got to do a lot of push-ups. So when you start off doing push-ups at a young age, that's always good. I wouldn't recommend to get into like heavy weightlifting until you're older, maybe 18, around that age, or older, to 21. But before that, you could do push-ups like crazy. Like from the age of 12 until the age of 18. Just do a lot of calisthenics. That trains your muscles to get prepped up for this type of training. So you have to kind of master the push-ups by doing it with effortlessly with ease. Okay, once you get to that point, then you start the bench press. You just gradually build yourself up, and you want to stay around like 10 reps, around that number, and you put on as much weight as you can, where you can do it about 10 times. The reason why is because you don't want to hurt yourself by hurt your muscles. When you do like less than 5 reps, it's very straining on the joints and the muscles, and you could hurt yourself. And if you can't lift the weight, then you could be in some trouble. So you want to be able to lift a weight that you could manage, and in case you got in trouble, it wouldn't be too much weight to pretty much maybe tilt the weight to the side in case you get in trouble. So you want to stay around 10 reps. You want to see where you're at. So base it on what you want to do is base it on how much you weigh. In my eyes, you want to be able to bench press more according to how much you weigh. So, in my eyes, a person that weighs 150 and he can bench press 300 pounds, that's very impressive. He's very strong for his size. That's more impressive to me than somebody who weighs 300 pounds and can bench press 350 pounds or even 400 pounds. Because a person that weighs 300, in order to have the same strength level pound for pound than the person that weighs 150, he would have to bench press 600 pounds, double his weight, in order to match the strength level of that person that weighs 150 pound for pound. So I'm all about benching as much weight as you can for your size. Now there's other people out there that prefer the powerlifting, where it doesn't matter how much you weigh, all that matters is how much you bench. So if there's a competition to see who could bench the most, none of the powerlifters will step on a scale. They don't care about that. All they care about is who can bench the most. So if somebody can bench press 800 pounds and he weighs 800 pounds, and then somebody else weighs 700 pounds and he can bench press 750 pounds, the person that bench presses 800 pounds wins because he bench pressed the most. That's more powerlifting. That's not what I specialize in. That's not what I really teach. I teach basically to bench press as much weight as you can for your size. And this is really relevant for the martial arts because it keeps your muscles efficient and lean, and not that excess weight like weighing you down. So meaning, like, you're not gonna have, like, no matter if it's fat or muscle, weight is weight. So that's why you don't see like Olympic gold marathon runners that are like overweight. because they can't have too much excess weight on them while they're running. So in martial arts, if you need to retain that speed in your hands and your feet, you need to be fast. So you can't have excessive muscles and you can't have excessive fat. You need to be as efficient as possible. So you look at Bruce Lee, for example, in that photo, he's an example of somebody who's very, very efficient. He was not that big, but he was super strong for his size. So when it comes back to the bench press, you want to be able to bench press as much weight as you can for your size. So a way to gauge that, when you're starting off, say you weigh 150 pounds and you're first time bench pressing. Maybe you might put down 75 pounds on the bar. So the bar weighs 45, and then just add on the extra weight to make it equal to 75, which is exactly half your weight, and see how many times you can do it. Bench press it full range, bring it all the way down to the chest, and then bring it back up. So say you could do it 15 times. That's great. So once you pass 10, then add on more weight. So if you could do 75 pounds 15 times, then add on 10 pounds. So now it's 85 pounds, and then see how many times you could do it. Say you do it 12 times. Now add on another 10, now it's 95 pounds, and then see how many times you can do it. Say you do it 9 times. So you didn't get the 10, so then you're going to stay at 95 pounds, and you're going to keep doing that until you can get to 10. Once you can get to 10, you can up it up another 10. So every time you graduate into the next level, where you bench press it 10 times, whatever weight it is, you're going to up it up 10 pounds. So once you bench press 95 pounds 10 times, and you add on another 10, get to 105, so on and so forth, and until you keep going higher and higher, until you finally get to your weight. So if you weigh 150, eventually you'll get to the point where you can bench press 150 pounds 10 times, then add on to 165, bench press that 10 times, and then 175, bench press that 10 times, all the way up, say you get to 200. Then you bench press that 10 times. So if you could bench press 200 pounds weighing at 150, that's pretty impressive. Okay, so you just want to keep going with that format until you maximize your bench press potential. And that's what I recommend in order to get to maximum efficiency with the bench press. So with the technique, what I like to do, I like to put my pinky finger onto this mark right here, and there's another mark right here. Every Olympic bar usually has these markers to help you put your hands in the right position. You don't want to put one arm off too far off to the right, and this one here is not equalized. Everything has to be equal. So if both arms are out, then both arms go out. Both arms are in, then both arms come in. You don't want one at a different position. So these bars are marked in order to help you to be able to put your hands in the right position. You have to do what feels best for you. Normally, somebody that's taller, they might put the ring finger where that mark is. Or if you're even taller, you might put the middle finger where that mark is. Typically, when you hold it too close, you're working more of the triceps, less of the chest, and you're not going to be able to bench press as much weight because you're not activating the chest muscles, which is the biggest muscles on the upper body, to push that weight up. So in order to activate those muscles, you're going to have to hold the grip wider, not closer. Closer is more triceps. A little bit wider comes to the chest. If you go too wide, then you're going to end up working the shoulders more and not the chest as much, and then you're not going to bench press as much weight. So there's like a sweet spot of where you're going to hold that bar in order to bench press the most weight, and that's where you want to find. So experiment to see if it's going to be the ring, the pinky finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, where it's going to be at that bar. Okay, at this mark right here. So you're going to experiment to see what works for you. Once you find out the grip that's best for you, you're going to stay consistent with that grip. And then you want your elbows to kind of come down here like this, not up like that. Because if you come up like this, you're going to be putting a lot of stress on the shoulders, and there's a good potential that you're going to get injured, and that's not going to be your maximum bench press power because you're not utilizing the chest to its fullest capacity. So you see how my elbows are coming down like this? That's pretty much the range that I want to stay at. And if I had a bar, it would be meeting at this center right here. That's where the bar will be touching, where the center is. So if you go too high, too close to the neck or the throat, then that's not your maximum power. And if you go too low where the stomach is, that's not the maximum power either. You're weak down here and you're also weak up here, but you're strong right here. And that's where you want to go. Hit that bar at that center right there. When you go down, you want to breathe in. When you go up, you want to breathe out. You want to pretty much lock out the elbows pretty much on the up. You want to breathe in, coming down, touch your chest. I want you to touch the chest because I want that full range. Because if you don't touch the chest, then it's going to be hard to see whether or not you cheated on a certain rep. And it's going to be hard to gauge whether or not you actually got stronger, or did you basically go a half rep instead of a full rep. So when you got more distance to cover, then it's going to be harder. When you have less distance to cover, then it's going to be easier. So if you're doing a bench press and you go all the way down and all the way up, that's going to be a lot harder than just doing half reps. So the problem when you don't touch the bar to the chest is sometimes you might stop a little bit too early. You push it up and then you're like, hey, you know, I got an extra rep or two. You think you got stronger, but actually you didn't get stronger. You just kind of cheated on the reps. So I don't like it when people do not touch the chest, because you're not properly gauging that consistency. Because your arms are how long the arms are. Your arms are not going to get longer or shorter if you're already done with your growth spurt. So when you have that consistency of range, and one day you do 10 reps and another day you do 11, you know that you got stronger. But if you don't go full range and then all of a sudden you do 12 reps and you do half reps, you're not necessarily getting stronger, you just kind of cheated in the range. So I don't like when people do that, and I don't recommend that. You know, so go full range, get the bar to touch the chest and bring it back up. Alright, and sometimes people might not be able to stretch that far. What I say for the people that are in that situation, just put on less weight and then train the muscles to get more flexible so you can get that full range. So build yourself up to be flexible enough to go full range. Alright? So you touch the chest, breathe in when you go down, breathe out when you come up. And that's what I recommend. At first it's going to be hard to keep balance. Your stabilizing muscles are going to start getting activated, and that's part of the training. That's going to help you get stronger, and that's going to be part of the building process into building it into the muscle memory in your body. Once you keep doing it over and over again, you're not going to be shaking anymore. You're going to be stabilized and you're going to be in control. At first it might wobble a little bit. You might come up and then down and sway around a little bit. It might be moving around like this, but you just have to get used to it. So at first, don't use too much weight. Start off with the lighter weight to train your body to get used to this movement. Once the body gets used to this movement, then everything's going to be stable and in control. Alright, so those are my recommendations. You want to keep your feet planted on the ground. Try not to arc your back too much. And also when you come down, don't come, especially if you're using heavy weight, don't come down too fast. Like kind of let it down more slowly to protect your muscles, because your muscles can tear and you could get injured when you just let it just drop down like that. I know that it might save some energy, but it's kind of dangerous to do that. And also it's a better workout, and it also just shows more power and strength when a person can come down slow and then bring it up, rather than just letting it drop down and pop off his chest. You're not working that negative, and it also is dangerous, and also it's not really, you don't gain as much respect for the rep, because you kind of like cheated on halfway of it, you know. So those are my recommendations. I'm gonna do a demonstration right now. This is 205 pounds. I used to bench press a lot more, but as you age, sometimes, you know, it's hard to keep up to the things that you used to be able to do. The most that I ever bench pressed in my life, I think, was 285 pounds, or at least 275 pounds. It's on record in video. It's somewhere in the thousands of videos I put out there. But I bench pressed maybe 275 pounds, and I weighed maybe like 150 at the time. Now I haven't maxed out before in a long time, because it's kind of, you know, it's very demanding on the body, and it could cause some pain. So, but my rep best was probably benching 225 pounds around 10 times. You know, weighing at around 145 pounds. Right now this is 205 pounds, and I weigh about 150 pounds. So I'm just gonna show you that these are real weights, so you know that I'm not like doing fake stuff. This is 35 pounds. This is 45, and then same on this side, 45 and 35, and then the bar is right here that weighs 45 pounds. So you also, if you're lifting heavy, you also might want to have a spotter to protect you in case you can't do it. If you don't have a spotter, then I wouldn't recommend to go heavy. So heavy is like, in my opinion, like heavy is like when you're doing anything like under 5 reps. When you're doing around 10 reps, then it's manageable. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. You're gonna be able to control the weight more. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the technique that I do with this bench press, and let's see how many I could do today. So what I like to do right after is some push-ups. Let's do a few right now, just to burn it out. I actually lost count on how many I did, but say I did 10. So normally, the way my calculations go, which is generally pretty accurate, is for every 10 pounds of increase, you lose 3 reps. So if I did this 10 times, that means if I put 215 on the bar, I should be able to do it about 7 times. if I put 225 in the bar, I should be able to do it 4 times. I put 235 in the bar, I should be able to do it once. So my max right now would probably be around 235, maybe 245, but that is generally the calculations that are pretty accurate from my years of training. So that allows you to have an estimate of where your 1 rep max is without actually having to risk your muscles getting injured by putting on so much weight just to do it 1 time. When you could do it 10 times, it keeps the exercise very safe for your muscles, your joints, and it challenges your strength very well. And that's what I recommend to do. Stay around the 10 rep range and rarely to go too heavy. Because especially as time progresses, those heavy muscles or those heavy weights are very demanding on the joints and the muscles. Some things that I also recognize or realize that help a lot is building up the shoulder muscles around in those very finite positions of the shoulders. So doing a lot of like lateral raises with weights to the side, front raises, and then also like bent over raises. That allows you to work the muscles all around the shoulders to prevent injury. Because once you get injured on the bench press and your shoulder starts hurting or your elbow or your wrist, you're not going to be able to bench press much weight anymore. So even though your chest might be strong, if the supporting muscles around your arms are injured, it's going to decrease your ability to bench press a lot of weight. So a lot of those supplemental exercises are very important. Mainly those shoulders exercises. Alright, so that's my recommendation on the bench press. It's one of those exercises that pretty much all athletes do. And they always use that as a marker as like where a person's strength level is. People will always say, hey, you know, what's your bench? What's your max? And then they talk about the barbell squats, what you could do on there, and then they talk about how many pull-ups you could do. These are like the 3 main categories to decide how strong somebody is. Barbell squats, bench press, and pull-ups. Those are like the main ones. And in powerlifting, they do the deadlift as well. But the bench press definitely, I mean, I've been doing it for many years, you know, since like the age of 10. And I'm like 37 now, so 27 years I've been bench pressing, and it comes natural to me. And you get so used to it that you get to the point where you don't need a spotter because you know what you're capable of. And you know if you can do the rep or you can't. And you're able to accurately gauge that. But it is always helpful to get a spotter to challenge you even more to do that 1 extra rep that you wouldn't be able to do without the spotter. But you know, this is a very important exercise to master, no matter what type of training that you do. It's always going to benefit you and help you. It's just a different variation to the push-up. Rather than having to do 40, 50 push-ups, all I got to do is do about 10 of these, and then now my chest is already worked out and I'm good to go. That's the great thing about strength training with weights, is that you don't have to do so many reps. You know, who wants to, you know, do 50 bicep curls? I mean, grab some dumbbells and just do 10. You know, who wants to do 50 pull-ups? You know, like, put some weight on you and then do like 10, 15. So that's the great thing about strength training. And no matter what, I can always add on more weight. It can always give me a challenge. I'm always trying to see if I could get as strong as I used to be. And that's a never-ending process of development is trying to be younger and stronger as you keep aging. You know, and I'm thankful that I can still bench press this amount of weight at this age and not feel any pain. There was a period of time when I was feeling pain on my shoulder, feeling pain in my elbows, and I wasn't doing heavy weightlifting much anymore for a while, and just to recover. Now my muscles feel good, my joints feel good. It's because I'm training properly and I'm training safely. So, thank you everybody out there for all your support. Hope you enjoyed the video.